Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. I've got three stories for you. Three stories that happened in the last 1 week. I'm not going to get into much analysis in all of the stories, nor am I going to get into the depth of these stories because you know these stories. My story number one is about Pratap Bhanu Mehta and Arvind Subramaniam resigning from Ashoka University. My story number two is Kerala government filing an FIR against Enforcement Directorate. My story number three is about Agricultural Minister for State, Mr. Purushottam Rupala, who says that even stray dogs don't go hungry in India. Three stories that I thought were sending dangerous signals to India. Let's get right into the show. Professor Pratap Bhanu Mehta resigned from Ashoka University. Closely following his resignation, Arvind Subramaniam, former advisor to the Prime Minister of India, also resigned. Pratap Bhanu Mehta or Professor Pratap Bhanu Mehta was actually the Vice Chancellor of Ashoka University till 2019. In 2019, he resigned as a Vice Chancellor, but he stayed on as a professor. But it came to a stage where, in a way, he was forced to resign. He was forced to resign because he would write what he thought was right for the nation. That was his version. That was his freedom of expression. He expressed himself and expressed himself consistently, and most of his expression was not very pro-government policies. Rather, it would criticize, question the government policies, and therefore, he had to resign. Now, let me just read out one paragraph of his resignation letter where he says, "After a meeting with founders, it has become abundantly clear to me that my association with the university may be considered a political liability. My public writing in support of politics that tries to honor constitutional values of freedom and equal respect for all citizens is perceived to carry risks for the university. In the interest of the university, I resign." Very touching words. He says, whenever I write, I try to honor the constitutional value of this country. A constitutional value that talks about equality for all citizens. He said, I tried to write that. I tried to express my view. But that view, somewhere down the line, a lot of people was not liking it, especially the government was not liking it, and therefore he became a political liability to the university. And he said, I don't want to put the university into trouble, so I resign. Right after him, Arvind Subramaniam resigned, and his resignation letter, I will read out a paragraph where he said, the circumstances involving the resignation of Professor Pratap Bhanu Mehta have devastated me. That someone of such integrity and eminence who embodied the vision underlying Ashoka felt compelled to leave is troubling. He said, if people like Pratap Bhanu Mehta had to leave, and that to leave because he was expressing himself, and Ashoka University let him go, he said, I was very uncomfortable to be in a university of this sort. So I am also leaving. I also don't want to work here. Because finally, it is taking away my academic freedom. It's taking away my freedom of expression. Now, there's a local vibrant newspaper in the campus of Ashoka University, which says that, Ashoka University they are in Haryana, so they were looking at a plot of land because they wanted to expand, and the plot of land had to be granted by the government of Haryana to them. So it was imperative that, they had to please the government, and obviously the government was not very happy with Pratap Bhanu Mehta, and therefore, they had to sack Pratap Bhanu Mehta. Of course, the the vice chancellor, the current vice chancellor, Mr. Sarkar, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Dr. Sarkar, he said no, nothing doing. This is all stories. Nothing of the sort has happened, and Dr. Sarkar says nothing of the sort has happened, and this is all stories. We have got the land we wanted, and his resignation has got nothing to do with the land. ठीक है. You know, democracy starts in colleges. The right for freedom of expression is taught in schools and colleges. The foundation of democracy is kept in these schools and colleges, in these campuses. That is where our kids learn democracy. That is where our kids are taught, or should be taught, to speak their minds, to express themselves. That is where they are taught. And it is people like Mr. Mehta, Professor Mehta, who teaches. It is people like them who teaches these students. It is people like them who write and tell these students that, listen, you may agree to me or not, but this is my view. You can counter me. I may not agree to you, but I will hear you out. The moment you see such professors being forced to go, you know what is running in that child, that student learning in that university? What is running in the child, in that student is, listen, I would rather say things what the government wants to hear. That is what you are teaching the student. And you know what's going to happen when that student becomes a professional, or becomes a IAS officer, or becomes whoever? He starts singing the tune of the government. He starts behaving the way the government wants him to behave. He becomes a puppet of the government. Thus ends our democracy. And that's what's scaring me. That's what's scaring me. More than Mr. Raghuram Rajan said, dangerous attack on academic freedom. More than academic freedom, more than anything else, what scares me is it is attacking my sheer concept of democracy. It is teaching my children to get scared. You go out there and you say something against the government, you become an activist, and you could be behind bars. Your teachers who write possibly against the policies of the government and not so favorably for the government are thrown out from your colleges. When you switch on television, every channel talks praises of the government because you heard nothing else. This is the environment in which our students are growing, and that is what is worrying more than anything else in this world. This gets you to my next story. Again, like I said, I'm not going to get into details and all that. Swapna Suresh is in custody, is in the Enforcement Directorate custody in Kerala. And the state government of Kerala has filed a police FIR against the Enforcement Directorate. Because the state government of Kerala believes that the Enforcement Directorate is forcing Swapna Suresh to implicate the Chief Minister, Pinarayi Vijayan, in the gold smuggling case. ED having a problem with police. In Kolkata, there was CBI and police. They were in loggerheads. The reason why all of this is happening is because the governments, and I say governments, are using central agencies like Enforcement Directorate, Income Tax. The state governments are using police as their personal guards, personal bodyguards, or people. They are using them to teach each other lesson. If these politicians starts controlling these enforcement agencies, this country is going to get into danger. These enforcement agencies are losing their credibility state by state, day by day. Gradually, we messed up the system, and now it is the new normal to use forces, to use Enforcement Directorate for political vendetta. It is now a new normal. Some person talks against some minister, that police comes and puts that person in the jail, and then some central force comes and puts one of the minister's person in the jail. Arey, what is going on? You say something against the government and the next day you will have income tax knocking your doors or ED knocking your doors. You say something against the state government and you will have the cops coming and putting 4 cases on you, or the municipality coming and breaking your office. End of the day, we are the citizens of this country. We need to go above this politics for our own sake. Because finally what is going to happen is, these bodies will fight against themselves and there will be nobody to look after our interest, our needs. So that is my story number 2. Now I'll come to my story number 3. You know, there is a minister called Purushottam Rupala, who is the Union Minister for State for Agriculture. This gentleman says,
मैं एक मेरा अनुभव आपसे शेयर करना चाहता हूं संजीव जी, कि गलियों में जब पेट कुत्ते नहीं मगर जो आवारा कुत्ते घूमते रहते हैं, उनकी कुत्ती को जब वो ब्याती है और बच्चा देती है, तो हमारी माताएं कुत्ती को जब गलुड़िया खिलाने के रमाने के लिए सब हम गए हैं, इसमें कोई ऐसी बात मैं करने नहीं जा रहा हूँ, उसको शीरा खिलाने की प्रथा है हमारे गाँव में। माताएं उनके लिए शीरा देती थी, वो कुत्ती काट भी लेती थी तो भी बच्चे खिलाने जाते थे। तो जिस देश में प्रश्न का उत्तर मैं वही उसी पे ये मैंने साहब से अनुमति लेके मैं लंबा जवाब देना नहीं चाहता था, मैं लंबा जवाब भी नहीं देना चाहता था। मैं ये बताना चाहता हूँ, इस देश में ऐसे बच्चों की समस्या का भी समाधान जिस समाज में हो, वहाँ बच्चे भूखे रहने का आकलन और कोई करके दे, उसके प्रति बहुत संवेदनशीलता से हमें देखना नहीं चाहिए।
Sanjay Singh of AAP says that, he spoke about the hunger index, which we also spoke about. In 2019, we were 102nd out of, in 2019, we were 102 out of 117 countries. In 2020, we are 94th out of 107 countries. Now, you know what is worrying me here? I have done a whole editorial on this. You can see that about the hunger index. So I'm not going to get into detail here. You know what is worrying me here? What is worrying me here is, this is the apathy that a minister has for its people. If I don't understand there is a problem, how will I resolve it? My worry is the minister doesn't understand there is a problem. My minister doesn't know that there are people like sleeping hungry. The minister thinks because he sleeps possibly full stomach, the whole country is sleeping full stomach. That's my worry. For me to resolve something, I need to know that there is a problem. No. If I don't know there is a problem, how will I resolve it? And that's precisely what this minister is doing. He doesn't know that there is a problem. And that's the worry. You see, teachers who teach students to speak their minds, enforcement agencies, police, who are here to guard my security, and ministers who are supposed to safeguard, who are supposed to run this country, who are supposed to ensure that people here get their 2 square meals. All these three people are going in different directions. Students are scared to talk because that's what they're seeing. If you speak your mind out, you may get thrown out of your job. Enforcement agencies is fighting against each other. State enforcement agency versus central enforcement agencies. And people are looking and witnessing it. And the minister, the agriculture minister, who is supposed to feed this country, says that kaun sa hunger index? Hey, no hunger index. Even a stray dog here in India gets enough food to eat. Which India is he talking about? This saddens me. I have nothing else to say. Till I see you next time. Namaskar.
Hello everyone. HW News English is 2 years old now. When we started this venture, we promised ourselves one thing, that news should remain free, because right to know is the right of every Indian. But to keep news free, For everyone, we need support from some of you. And thus, we have rolled out membership on our YouTube channel HW News English. But mind you, the membership is completely voluntary. The programs that we were doing earlier, that we are doing now, will continue to remain free. First level is a basic level. Here, you can be our supporter by paying rupees 199 per month. This membership gives you certain perks and benefits. The perks include unique badges in front of your name, a live show from Mr. Sujit Nair and from Mr. Akhilesh Bhargava per month for our members. You can also vote in some exclusive members-only polls. Now the second level is Super Supporter. Here you can be our Super Supporter by paying rupees 3,999 per month. This membership will include every perk that comes with basic level. Additionally, our Super Supporters can be a part of a WhatsApp group where we can have discussions and suggestions on various topics. The second perk includes a gift pack with our merchandise. And the third perk is a Google Meet with Mr. Sujit Nair, where you can join the meet and ask your questions to Mr. Nair face to face. Lastly, if you like, we would give a shout out to our super supporters in our programs. So, hope to see you soon with our badges.
The emerging backbone of India's economy are our startups. They represent India's youth. They represent India's aspirations. They represent India's hopes. They represent our fight against an insensitive bureaucracy, against an insensitive system. They represent the fight of our startup entrepreneurs against an indifferent system, against an insensitive banker, against challenges of dealing with the government, and against all the odds with which they started a startup. Every startup begins with a brilliant idea, a unique idea, an idea which nobody else thought of, and that becomes a business enterprise. We are starting our next episode series on what we call startup stories. It is a curiosity to know what was that idea, what was the motivation, what was the determination because of which one talented entrepreneur, without any background of business perhaps, decided to venture out on his own and create a successful enterprise. These are the ideas that motivate us also. If you have a startup story which is interesting, we would want to talk to you also. Come back to us with your own startup stories, and you might also be the person we would like to talk to.